hate that I even have to say this. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm not trying to belittle anybody. This is not a negative channel. Now, I know that my thumbnails and my titles are not helping my case at all. Look at these, look at this. Broken, unsuccessful, the dark side of being unhealthy, living with no talents. Although these thumbnails and titles are far from positive, unfortunately, they're very relatable. It's a cold world. That is the main reason why I have a polar bear as my logo. It is the perfect representation of me. Once I figured out how lonely, dark, and sad the world is, I had to make a choice if I wanted to survive. The logo is me letting everybody know that I have adapted and embraced the cold world that we live in.
What?
But you wanna know what doesn't make any sense to me? Most of the people that I come across are rude, disrespectful, and negative.
Well, who the are you, Mr. Smiley?
But for some reason, people are becoming more sensitive. The slightest thing can get you canceled. You have to watch everything you do or say because you might trigger somebody. Hell, people even get triggered by the word trigger. So before we get to the main topic, let's do a little test run, okay? We're gonna have some quick hot topics. And if you get triggered by anything I say, okay, you can go to hell. The first thing, men and women cannot be friends. I don't care what anybody say. One of y'all like each other. You're just too afraid to say it because you don't want to end the friendship. It's hard enough to find a connection with people. You find that connection and you just want to be friends with the opposite sex? What? That don't even make any sense. Y'all spend time together. Y'all know everything about each other. Y'all have feelings for each other. The only thing you're missing is intimacy. Y'all love each other, but y'all don't have sex. You're low-key an old married couple. Second thing, Little Caesars is better than Pizza Hut. That's a hot topic. All right, let's just get to the main topics. I am far from perfect. I like to admit when I make mistakes, errors, miscalculations. It's easy being a man, I'm sorry. A video I created in the past. Good intentions, bad delivery. I just wanted to change men's perspective, but they don't know me. They think I'm just another red pill male dating coach acting like I understand life and I'm gonna belittle them for 10 minutes. But I always have to remember, it's not what it is, it's what it looks like. And what makes it even worse, I could have took 2 seconds out of my day to check my analytics, look at my audience, and see that 90% of the people that watch my videos are men. It's mostly men that support me. And what do? I stab them in the back. At least that's what they think. Well, if you didn't get a chance to see that video, you never will. I took it down for obvious reasons. And today I'm here to clarify what I actually meant. It's easy being a man when you understand the lack of acknowledgement, lack of support, lack of love, etc. actually benefits you in the long run. You wanna hear the sad truth? Most men want to be respected and want to be leaders. And most people will not respect or follow a man that has not been through anything. As a matter of fact, I'll just speak for myself. If I decide to follow you, which I probably won't, I need to see your credentials. Show me your papers. I did have a list of credentials that I was gonna say, but I don't wanna make it seem like I'm throwing shade if you don't have any of these credentials. You know, everybody's being more sensitive nowadays. An air pilot can't just wake up one day and decide to fly a commercial plane legally. And also, of course, there are Army rankings. When you have other people's lives in your hand, you have to be mentally and physically strong. I'm bad at examples, but this one is a great example. When you wanna get into shape and you go to the gym, you know it's gonna be painful. You know it's gonna be painful when you leave the gym, but you're okay with it because you know it's a part of the process. So what I meant to say, being a man is easy once you understand the benefits of the harsh reality. And since men can't really express how they feel without being judged, being called soft, emotional, most men decide to suffer in silence. And the lack of communication from other men with similar problems makes you feel like you have the difficult life while others are enjoying life and prospering. And feeling like you're alone only makes it feel worse. Now, my question to you is, have you ever felt like you was alone in certain situations? I definitely have. Now, what I'm about to say some deep stuff, very sensitive. Most people don't even know this. Friends and family don't even know this. I got 2 phobias that when I found out about them, I thought I was the only one. The first phobia, I think I was just on YouTube and I seen this video of phobias. And I'm like, I'm perfect. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I can watch all this stuff with no problem. It won't make me feel no way. He put up a beehive. I have trouble looking at a whole bunch of circles right next to each other, like a beehive. I'm gonna tell you right now, anybody that has this same problem where they can't see a whole bunch of circles right next to each other without feeling anxious and weird, don't worry, I'm not gonna post it on the screen. Don't worry about that. My second phobia, I really thought I was crazy when I was going through this. There was a time I was trying to be healthier, okay? And I was trying to put down the energy drinks, trying to drink more water, trying to get more vitamins in my system. So I started taking vitamins. vitamin B2, 3, 4, whatever they are. But eventually I started having little panic attacks, little small anxiety attacks. I guess they were small because they didn't last that long. But it would only happen when I eat like cookies and bakeries and, sugary food. When I would eat cookies and stuff, it would almost feel like I would have an overload of sugar in my body and my body didn't know how to handle it. So it would just be anxious and I'd heart beating fast. I would start sweating. So it got to a point where every time I would eat a specific food, my body would react to it in a weird way. Like I said, don't judge me. I got to a point where I thought I was getting poisoned. Either poison or people was putting drugs in my food. So I couldn't eat anything if people prepared it for me. I would have to take it out of the package myself. I wouldn't trust anybody. And I stopped having food delivered to me. It was just too much for me. And I couldn't tell anybody because I felt weird when I would tell people. But one day I did what any sane person would do. I Googled it and I checked on Reddit to see if anybody went through this. And thank God, it's actually a phobia. I didn't know this. Now, I still feel crazy that I went through it, but it made me feel a little better that other people went through that same thing. I'm not gonna lie. You don't really hear this too often, but thank God for social media. Because men are finally hopping on camera and letting other men know that they're not alone. Life is up for all of us. Matter of fact, let's listen to this gentleman. Let's see what he has to say.
If I disappear, who cares? Nobody cares, man. Seriously. And that's okay. That's life.
Men, we are not alone. It's bad out there. And yes, women have hardship too. But women don't watch my channel, so we're just gonna leave it at that. Matter of fact, I want more women watching my channel. Share the video. You see, having a different perspective could be a beautiful thing. Try to understand both sides. Changing up your perspective is needed. It's a side of mental growth. If you think the same way your entire life, you might be in trouble. Like I used to be a person that pointed out other people's flaws, okay? I admit it. In their face, behind their back, in my head, it low-key made me feel good about myself. It's terrible, I know. This went on for years until one day I was out with my mom, seen an older man with a dirty 3-piece suit on. Of course I pointed it out and laughed. My mom looked at me and asked me, "Are you perfect?" I said no. And my mom said, "Get rid of all your flaws. Then you can talk bad about people." I was speechless. We all know perfection is impossible. So that conversation stuck with me for years. And I learned that when you see negative on others, you most definitely see it on yourself. Me pointing out other people's flaws made me feel better because I felt like it took the spotlight off my flaws. Once I listened to my mom and started working on my flaws, building up my confidence, I didn't care to point out other people's flaws. I was way too focused on myself. That one conversation when my mom checked me in the middle of Walmart, it changed my outlook on other people's shortcomings. So I had to share it with you. You're welcome and thank you for listening. But hopefully you wasn't a person like I was. If life isn't going right for you, then finding this video is definitely a sign. Change your mindset, change your perspective. Hit the like button and have a good day.